Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Red Sea podcast. And I think this is the episode I've been the most anticipated in starting in a while, especially given the circumstances. This is the third episode straight in 3 days, and I'm very happy about that as well for all the quality that I can give you. But this is special. This is very special, and this is a bit unorganized and chaotic because, as you can see, Gav could not make it today, sadly, so it's gonna be more of a quick one. But I just dropped the link, the chat, the link that you can copy on Google, of course, and if you so wish, you can join me upon here live, drop your thoughts, drop your impressions about that wonderful return, and in general, drop your favorite memory in regards to Danny Podence and honestly what you expect more than anything. Because as with very cherished memories, there is a lot of expectation as well. And expectation that, don't get me wrong in the slightest, I full on see being fulfilled, right? There is no there's no singular doubt in my mind that expectations set by Daniel Podence himself will be fulfilled. Again, I don't think there is a doubt in anyone's mind really in that regard. But yeah, it feels like a dream come true. It feels like something that should have happened way easier. Honestly, it seems like something that shouldn't have been separated ever since last time, if that goes on to make sense. And it finally, for the love of God, looks like a forever thing, without wanting to jinx anything. And I am gonna start off with the words that Daniel started off with himself. And honestly, those words are something that we all expected, but for even the slightest person that had any doubts about Daniel's love, true love towards this club, and in regards to if Daniel feels like he erased his true home, because it is, and that shows every single time. Not that he comes back, every single time he wears that shirt, because he is loved here and he will forever give that love back on and off the field on every chance he gets. Uh, of course, he did say that he hopes to sign here for his whole life. That we clearly saw, we clearly, very clearly saw that he was trying not to cry from the reception that he got, even though he knew what reception he was gonna get. He mentioned that his legs are shaking, and he did out and out say that there is no place he would rather be in. He will prove that once again. And as I said, I am as hopeful as I can be that this is going to be the final one. This is going to be the forever one, and that Daniel is going to stay at his home. There is so much that comes back when you think about Daniel. There is so much that you can imagine going forward when you think about Daniel. Now with the attack that we have uh, with Mendilibar signing as well, I think it's a very safe bet to say that this is our fullest attack, if not ever in many years, especially winger wise as well, where we have had a lot of trouble many times. We've had a lot of trouble on the wings. And now we have Zelson Martins, we have Strefeca, we have Pneumonidis, and now we have Daniel Podence. And up front, that's a very easy answer when you go on and seclude that the three choices up front are the best three choices we've had a striker of all time as a combination with Ayub El Gabi, Roman Yaremchuk, and Mendilibar. And it just fills you with so much more positivity about the Champions League. Just fills you with so much ease in regards to the league. And as I said, it honestly feels right. That you can't go on and dispute that in any way. That it feels right for Daniel to be here. We've said it the last time he came back. Daniel's replacement that we were looking for was Daniel himself, proving once again in a very paradoxical loop that Daniel can't be replaced with his team, proving once again that no matter uh, when Daniel comes back, there is no way that he won't give this team his 1,000,000%, not even his 1,000. And there is no doubt in that Daniel can, at the very bare minimum, provide talent, hard work, and impact to this team. And I think that finally, for a very vocal minority, that is, I think that finally the doubters of Daniel Podence and the doubters of his very crucial need to be in the squad have gone because it's the same as last time. Last time, Daniel was said to come back. People said that we didn't need him, and people turned around very fast, as most great fans do. Like, let's not lie to ourselves. And again, I'm putting myself back in this. And when Daniel did end up leaving for Al Shabab last summer, you saw a lot of fans turning on him fully. Fans that already had sort of turned on him and didn't consider him as irreplaceable as he truly is. And honestly, the image that we saw today, the things that he said, the reception he got, if if that doesn't make you realize how wrong you were, if you're in the forementioned category of last summer, then I would say that Daniel on the pitch once again will, but I don't know if that's possible if you still choose to say that Daniel does not love this club. And honestly, again, going back to a point that I said a bit ago, God, how I can't wait to see this team playing the Champions League. How I can't wait to see this team work its magic under Jose Luis Mendilibar, and how I can't absolutely wait to see just the reception Daniel gets on the pitch as well. Exactly what I mentioned. Exactly what I mentioned. The first thing he said is that there is no place that he'd rather be while trying his absolute hardest not to cry. And that alone says more than enough for Daniel's love for this club. And that alone says more than enough about his will to be here and help all he can, as much as he can, which is more than enough, and in every single way he can. Because, mind you, his role this season and for the seasons to come, again, very hopefully, about him staying is to also take Pneumonides under his wing and help him, which I'm sure will not only just send Pneumonides uh, confidence to the moon and above, but I'm sure that Pneumonides watching Podence and learning from him will be something that leads to an even more incredible player than we have even imagined of Pneumonides being. And all the work between them, all the work in the team, the instant chemistry that Daniel will have with almost everyone from this team, the passion and the fire that he will have to succeed. And I wouldn't be shocked if he goes in and gets Paphos and picks up a goal. And just the fact that he's back, and just the fact that we get to watch him and that we get to enjoy him in the sense that he belongs, on the pitch that he belongs, and on the pitch he thrives the best at, right? Because that's something that perhaps sounds a bit too cliche, but you have to go on and mention as well that, as Daniel said, when you're at the place you rather be the most, you're not only the happiest, but you're at your best, you're the most focused, you're the most hardworking, you're the most confident, and you're a whole different version of yourself, just levels above the version you are usually at. And excuse my perhaps delusion, because you all have clearly seen, whether it's here, whether it's talking with you guys, just one on one, whether it's with Gav, just uh, and I think that as a collective, we'll see the best football we've seen from Olympiacos for countless years now. And I think not only in the league, because as stuff keeps going, as people keep coming in, and as we may not have finished up our transfer business, uh, I'm more and more thinking, knock on wood, everyone stays healthy, that we are holding the league this season. I honestly can't look at any opponent in the eye and say that they can stop us. I genuinely think that with the addition of Daniel and with the integration of everyone else, including Daniel in the squad, I think that will be more than comfortable in the league. And it goes back to what me and Gav said last episode, 2 days ago, literally 2 days ago, when we weren't that sure about Daniel. If Daniel gets added as a piece of the puzzle on the wings, it's not just the fact that it's just incredible quality being added to the team. And I am using one of Gav's quotes here. Is that the fact that the best ability is availability. You have players to choose from for each game, each situation, whether that's the league, whether that's the Champions League, whether that's the Cup, whether that's whatever it may be. That even going back 2 years ago, we could have only dreamed of the depth this squad has. Now adding Daniel, of course, is something we could have only dreamed of. The way we climbed out of the absolute gutter that we were in 2 years ago, the way that we have flipped our mentality just like that. And now we're seeing people like Taremi We're seeing Daniel come back again, hopefully permanently. We're seeing veterans like Capella. We're seeing Yazici get fully integrated. We're seeing Gustavo Mancha got announced earlier on. We're seeing talents like him coming. And you have a squad. You have a squad that can cover off not just every competition. You have a squad filled with every mentality, whether that's youthful, whether that's veteran, or whether that's in between. You have a squad filled with chemistry, fire, passion, and you have a squad that complements each other so freaking well in play style. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to witness such such a good Olympiacos summer. Even though it had its flaws, but it's an Olympiacos summer after all. But such a well planned Olympiacos summer. To end just 24 hours before you have to submit the European list. You bring in Daniel, and you still have an opportunity to cover off any gap that's needed, which you will. And we are going in to the Super League this season with the aims of hulking it, as I said. We're going into the Cup this season with the aims of hulking that as well. And we have the depth to do that, which again, said depth gives so much more freedom to play. Like with Podence coming in, and with Gelson also probably starting down the other side. They both know that I have Strefetsa behind me and I have Pneumonides behind me, or whether it will be Pneumonides and Strefetsa, Zelson's on the bench, and so on and so forth. So they themselves, especially Daniel, because we know what a confident Daniel Podence can do. We know what a confident Daniel Podence can fucking do, especially in the game. You have them freeing up their game more and more, and especially going in the Champions League, where you will need everyone not just at 1,000%, at 1,000,000%. Going in the Champions League with someone like Daniel on the wing, with someone like Daniel that's more passionate, more full of fire, and more willing to prove himself than ever on the wings. Someone like Daniel that saw the love of the people hasn't only disappeared, but has grown fonder, because after all, as the phrase says, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and that in football is the truest phrase one can say. And adding him to a puzzle that's already stronger than it's been in God knows how long, and filled of more variety than it's been in God knows how long. What's there to even say after? It's surreal, and once it does end up getting officially announced, I promise you, it will feel more surreal than it ever has even come close to feeling before. It honestly will feel like we're seeing football we haven't in decades, I feel like. And we're seeing a brand new player in Daniel, because I honestly believe that at this point, and with how fired up Daniel is, also excuse me for looking to the side constantly, but I'm trying to pull up a list that I have ready from some memorable Daniel moments that I just want to go back and talk about. It will feel like we're seeing a whole new player, and yet such a familiar face. God, am I happy? I feel like I've spent 20 minutes rambling without taking a breath. I promise you that I won't go on for that much longer. But moving in slowly but surely before I talk about some stuff, Moving in slowly but surely to the moment I want to talk about. Even if you're listening to this afterwards, feel free to drop your favorite memory from Podence and what you expect to see from him. Because the least we all expect is greatness, I feel like. Of course, Daniel has made us love him over two very amazing things, especially the 23-24. One, and some moments that I have noted down is, of course, starting off all the way back in 2019, Daniel came in and basically announced himself very loudly by scoring a very crucial goal in the draw against Tottenham, the 2-2 comeback draw against Tottenham, uh, right before halftime in that game. That was an incredible goal that I'll never forget, honestly. Then I have gone back and looked at the Baskatopola game. The Baskatopola game, of course, that very commanding 5-2 victory. Podence scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. For those who have in any way, by any chance, even slightly forgotten. Then, of course, there is that incredible brace against Toffee, where Daniel scored both the goals at the 10th and 54th minute of the game, proving again what a crucial Daniel is, how undoubtedly crucial and irreplaceable he was even back then, but even more now, right? Of course, you can't go on skipping Daniel Podence moments without talking about his uh, goal of the season against PAOK, his amazing goal of the season against PAOK. That is truly a testament to how technically gifted Daniel is that we haven't really talked about. Of course, with how crucial he was in that Conference League campaign, as he finished the season with 15 goals and 13 assists. Also, getting him in the Conference League team of the season when we lifted the trophy. Honestly, a career defining season for Daniel in general. And after that little break, I'm sure that he will come back and prove that he can give us even more, much more greater things than what he gave us both in his first and his second stint. And there is a few more stuff I have noted down. Of course, the brace back in October 2023 against Yanina in that 3-0 victory. The Krasnodar game where Daniel didn't play, but Daniel showed how much football IQ just runs through his DNA, putting on constant pressure on the Russian team that we inevitably went on to batter 4-2-0. Of course, I could never forget that goal against Panathinaikos. Of course, I could never forget that goal against Panathinaikos. And that insane photo and video that hasn't gone up a bit ever since yesterday of where Podence wins that header and screams his bloody heart out. Of course, you can't go without mentioning the man's first goal with Burnley back in 2018, of course, that qualifying ground, that draw that helped us advance on aggregate. The assist against Dyke back in 2019, assisting Madi Camara. Of course, another incredible assist, another incredible. I can't even talk about that cheap pass that just shows that football IQ, that vision, and that composure that runs through Daniel, and in general, just everything Daniel has done. He proves that he is a vital aspect in all parts of the game, especially under Mendilibar. This man has proved that he can show us unimaginable greatness, and now he can show us leadership as well. Leadership that we will enjoy more than ever with the structure of the squad now, and leadership that we will admire more than ever. And to finish off, running through his stats really quickly, of course, in that 18-19 season, with him coming in, he scored 5 and assisted 8 in 27 matches in the Super League, assisted 1 in the Europa League, and scored 1 in Europa League qualifying, as mentioned before. Then in the 1920 season, let me drink some water actually because my voice is giving out from all the excitement and very, very fast talk. I apologize because I didn't expect my voice to just completely die on me. Of course, in the 1920 season, Daniel in 15 games in the Super League scored 3, assisted 4. In the Champions League, he scored 1, and in the Champions League qualifiers, he scored 1 and assisted 1. Of course, it wasn't a full season for Daniel. That goes without saying, right? And in that non-full season came Daniel's only Super League trophy medal as well. So I think it's time for him to win one and celebrate one in a full season as well, don't you? And of course, in that incredible 23-24 team, Daniel managed to, give me a second, Daniel managed to score 7 and assist 5 in 22 games in the Super League. In the Super League playoffs, he scored 4 and assisted 3. In the Conference League, he scored 1 and assisted, very crucial, 4. And in the Europa League, he scored 3 and assisted 1. Stats will never tell the full story, but what Daniel can do in this team, especially now, will only be described by admiration and nowhere near words. I hope you all enjoyed. It is the emotions. It was the emotions. And guessing this common goes to my voice completely dying. And yes, it is the emotions because not even after the announcement that will more than likely come tomorrow, even when I see him playing, I won't fully realize that he's done. But yeah, closing in on half an hour, I will let you all go celebrate. But I want to mention one thing right before I go that I wanted to save for last. And it's not promo, it's not anything. I wanted to make a small parenthesis because you all know how much I am an advocate of mental health and someone who we all know, or at least most of us know, on Twitter said that he's really not doing well, that he's struggling a lot, and that of course he'll take a break from Twitter and that he hopes to be back. Of course, support was sent by everyone, but I just want to remind you all, having gone through great heaps of shit myself, I just want to remind you all to talk, never be afraid to talk. Talk to your people, talk to your loved ones. That the shows, DMs in any socials are always open. If someone that actively watches and follows me isn't doing well, the source DMs are always open. And please, for the love of God, as hard as it may be, because I know how hard it is and I get how hard it is, never go to places where you will do harm to yourself, because that is an endless spiral that will never be easy to get out of. Very proud of you all for dealing with any struggle. Now, getting that very important message out the way, I'll let you all go celebrate Daniel. I am glad to be back in full force. I'll see you very, very soon. We will have a lot of transfers to talk about still, and especially now that it's a national break. Got the εθνική to catch up on. We have Eurobasket to talk about. And yeah, couldn't be happier to be back in such full force and giving you all such good and variety content, celebrating Daniel as well. Thank you all so much. Hope you enjoyed like always.